Hi, I'm Scott, and welcome to Beach Street News. We are Scott and Kelly, WSET Level 2 certified award in wines, and we've also both taken the introductory sommelier exam with the Court of Sommeliers. And today we're going to talk about Savoy and Sons Chardonnay, California Chardonnay from Murrieta, California, just outside of here. We're here in Huntington Beach, and this is from the Temecula-Murrieta area. Typical of a French grape in a hot climate, I'm going to expect this wine to be a little heavier and sweeter than most of your Northern California Chardonnays or Washington Chardonnays. So that's where we're going to start off with that. We'll see if I'm right, and we'll see what they deliver. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you know about the wine? What are we supposed to be looking for here? Are we going to bias ourselves, or do we just go without it?
So I'm going to start with, this is a very small family-owned winery located in the Murrieta Hills. They have a very small production. This is their Chardonnay. They have a Cabernet and a red blend. If this goes well, I will be anxious to try their red blend.
As will I. One of the things that I personally think is that in the hotter areas like Temecula-Murrieta, the lower Italian varieties tend to do a lot better. So they can take the heat, they don't get so sweet, they don't get so heavy, they don't get that syrupiness. But we'll take a look. We'll see what Savoy and Sons are able to do with their Chardonnay out of Murrieta, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I do know that this is aged in oak, so French oak, so that should give it a little more buttery flavor.
Yep, a little malolactic fermentation. So a couple of things about Chardonnay in general, because it is a northern French varietal. Generally speaking, Chablis is the area that you would see a lot of French Chardonnays grown in, and a lot of it into Champagne. So the color of this, though, this is not what I expected.
It's very light.
Very pale yellow, which for a California Chardonnay is not something you would expect. That's a good thing, I think. That it means they didn't let the grapes over ripen. They picked them at a good time, and very light edge to this, so very young wine. So this is a 22, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, it's a 22.
22, there we go. So less than 3 years old. Very light color for a Chardonnay, California, especially a Southern California Chardonnay. I almost wish we had another one, like an Everly or one of the Northers, to compare the color, because this is really a nice color.
No, this is. It's a light straw color.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. So right off the top, very typical Chardonnay notes. A little bit of green. Not quite as appley and bitter or acidic as you would expect a Chardonnay to be, like a Sauvignon Blanc or something like that. So far it's got a very light nose, which again with the light color sort of goes together, and I would expect the same in the taste. So one of the things with Chardonnays, though, is they can be what some will call a difficult wine. And one of the things that's true about wine is the flavor will change based on what you've put on your palate before it. The 4 parts of your tongue, right? Sweet, sour, salty, and umami. So those things, how we eat these may change the wine slightly, but we're going to go with it dry first. And we should have had some water up here. A little bit of a mistake on our part, but
I think I'm smelling some of the apple, maybe some pear.
Very nice apple and pear. Very light white floral too. Okay, this one has a little bit of a bite on the mid-tongue. This is different for a California Chardonnay, and that's probably from the French oak. A little bit of tingling around, very light burn, so it means the alcohol is very well balanced. The acids are very well balanced. Your teeth aren't drying out. Very clean, drinkable summer wine.
This is a very clean, light.
Yeah, it's not as complex as a lot of the French Chablis or even the Northern Californians, but as you go through a second you can really bring out the deeper apple and the deeper greens. So
Mm-hmm.
the floral sort of gets washed out by the extra greens, which is really nice. And because of its lightness, this will be a nice summer, warm weather wine, which ironically, Chardonnays should not grow well in warm weather. So they've done a nice job with this.
Yeah, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, they really have. So the only thing holding it back from going well north of 90 points for me is it's not very complex. It is a very clean, solid example of a Chardonnay without being overcomplicated. It's not over buttery. It doesn't have that X brand of milkiness or butteriness that we see in Northern California a lot.
That I expected.
That you expected, exactly. So the French, there's not the other piece. If it's French oak, there should be a little bit more spice. So that's why I'm going to put this at right at the 90-point range, because I'm not getting the spice that I would expect out of a French oak barrel. So it didn't sit long enough in the barrel maybe to give it that. Again, it doesn't hurt it. It just doesn't give it that complexity that you might get out of a good Chardonnay, especially in a warmer climate like Murrieta.
It's opening up really nicely.
It is, and that's the other thing about whites, especially something like this, because
I
of
do
its.
think I had it chilled a little too cold.
Yeah, so we're letting it open up.
So it's actually turning out very nicely as it starts to warm up.
And as it does open up, the flavors do change. So, since we're talking about that, simple rules. If you've got a bottle of red on a warm day, throw it in the refrigerator for 15 to 20 minutes, and then pull it out to drink it. White is the opposite. If it's in the refrigerator, which is a little too cold for what it should be, because it's going to be in the 40s, take it out for 15 to 20 minutes and then serve it up. So you can see this bottle sweating, which means we had it just a little too cold and chill, but because it is a very nice warm day today, up in the 80s, and here in the studio it's getting up there because of all these lights and the cameras and everything.
The piece of cheese I had actually brings out a
Yeah,
lot
and that's
of
it.
the
The salt,
flavors.
the salt in here is helping with the acid. It doesn't have a lot of acid, but it does lighten it up just a little bit, and it gives it a little bit more of a polished finish. So it's really is opening up nicely. This is a really well done wine. I congratulate these guys. Well, there you have it. Savoy and Sons. We're going to give it 90. If you have a disagreement or a better score, what would you like to say?
I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
I actually do want to try their red blend
do.
and their Cabernet.
Yep. So there you go. Savoy and Sons. They have a website. Where do we go? We don't sell wine. We just look at wine here at Beach Street News.
They do have a website.
SavoyandSons.com. Look at that. Right off the bottle.
SavoyandSonsWinery.com.
Really?
Yes.
Boy, they need to fix their label because it says SavoyandSons.com right here.
I have one of the marketing
cards.
manager's
yeah.
card
Well,
right
maybe
here.
they have two websites. I don't know.
So,
But there you have it. Savoy and Sons
Winery.
or SavoyandSons.com. Give it a try. I do recommend the wine. It is very nice California wine. And if you get out to Savoy and Sons and you can get into their tasting room.
I don't think they have a tasting room yet. They are very young. This
Well,
is
there you
a
go.
young winery. So
Well, there you go. So a new discovery. Get yourself
Yes.
something to throw in the cellar so you can say you were there when.
You knew them when.
Yeah, there you go. All right, from Beach Street News, it's Scott and Kelly. Have a great day.